The chairman of the Southern and Eastern Africa Chief Justices Forum and Chief Justice of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Honorable Justice Beki Mafalala, commended President Museveni for the recent renovations of the High Court structures.
Your Excellency, I wish to personally thank you in my capacity as the chairman of the forum. I'm advised for taking a keen interest in the improvement of the terms and conditions of the judges of Uganda, the improvement of the infrastructure for the judiciary.
However, he expressed concern about unemployment and poverty among African member states, despite the continent's abundant natural resources.
When the natural resources of the African continent continue to be plundered and looted by foreign interest, and this has caused untold economic hardship and suffering to the people of Africa.
President Museveni urged the Chief Justices, judges and lawyers to serve the public with integrity to ensure justice.
Link justice with enlightenment, because the middle class values like respect for women and gender equality and so on are better addressed in an educated society where people, so that's why university education becomes very important, which all of us should support.
He called for a unified Africa that prioritizes Pan-Africanism and patriotism, as well as the establishment of a common market.
And that's why we emphasize patriotism. You love Uganda. Why do you love Uganda? Because you need it for your prosperity, better than your tribes and religious groups. Then Pan-Africanism, you need Africa, not only East Africa, but now we have got the CFTA, Continental Free Trade Area, for the whole market of Africa. So therefore, when I see you here coming together, now then once you have got the African market, you can also now start talking with the Chinese, with others for additional markets.
The president criticized the money lenders, stating that they excessively exploit citizens to the point of confiscating their assets and property.
Recently, I want to bring a law to fight money lenders. Money lenders are becoming a problem. They go to our villagers, cheat them, charge them extortionate. Inflation rate in Uganda is very low. It's only 3% or even lower. But you find people charging 240%. In an economy where inflation rate is only 2%. Why do you do that? Oh, no. We had a contract with this villager who didn't know even what he was signing. Of course, we are going to make the law. But if it was me, even before the law came, just using the law of contracts, because that's what they are claiming now, that there was a contract between an illiterate villager with a money lender, that they signed something. And in that document, they don't say that X borrowed from Y. They say X bought the house of Y. So a lending contract is hidden as a purchase contract. But me, if it was me, if I was the one sitting in the case, I would say, how can a house in Munyonyo cost?
The 5-day conference will conclude on Saturday with the Chief Justice from South Sudan, Somalia, Kenya, Burundi, among others, along with the judges and lawyers attending the first day. I'm Ivan Juko and Viola Nansubuga for UBC.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Now, members of West Nile Parliamentary Caucus are urging government to expedite mobilization of funds for construction of a new modern bridge at Karuma. While presenting a statement on the closure of the Karuma Bridge by the Ministry of Works and Transport, the chairperson of the West Nile Parliamentary Caucus, Feta Geoffrey, emphasized that Uganda Wildlife Authority should reconsider its time restrictions. He suggested allowing buses, passengers and private vehicles to travel between 6 and 8 a.m. to avoid additional accommodation costs for travelers.
Members of the West Nile Parliamentary Caucus have reacted to the closure of the Karuma Bridge to all motorists for major rehabilitation work by the Ministry of Works and Transport on September 23rd. Traffic from West Nile and other parts of northern Uganda has been diverted to Kafu, Masindi Town, Chinyara Town and Bwiso, leading to the Albertine Rift Valley in Bulisa District to access the National Park through the Bugungu Gate. Members of Parliament state that this diversion has increased transportation costs for people and goods by 35%, which has also affected commodity prices.
This may lead to increased influx of smuggled goods in the markets in West Nile, depriving government from revenue.
This route means Uganda's export and import trade is being affected.
People are being killed in West Nile because of the anti-smuggling unit killing people. So we are afraid that if this bridge is not going to be worked on in time, and if alternative routes are not provided to ease movement of goods from the central region, said to smuggle goods from South Sudan, from Democratic Republic of Congo.
Some members argue that bus fares have been hiked, while others are requesting the government to increase ferry service times as an alternative route.
Bus operators have hiked their transport fares. For example, traveling from Moyo to Kampala now costs about 80 to 85,000 from just about 50,000.
This road, Ua was compensated. This road must be opened, and West Nilers or the people of North should not pay for this road.
Whereas now, since most of the traffic has been diverted via Bulisa, most of the people going to Nebi district, even some lower parts of West Nile like Madioko, even Arua, are using the Panyimur ferry. So we expect them and request that they should increase the ferry times on Wanseko to Panyimur route from 2 to at least 4 times.
The caucus has asked the government to intervene and address the challenges faced by the people of northern Uganda by improving unmotorized transport sectors in the diversion to prevent traffic from being diverted into the forest.
And should provide security for the trucks between Kinyara Town, Biso Town and Biso Town to avoid the highway robbers from stealing goods from the trucks.
Among their proposals is for the Ministry of Works and Transport to introduce domestic flights by Uganda Airlines between Entebbe International Airport and Arua Airport at subsidized cost. Members express hope that since the issue of movement for people and goods from West Nile and other parts of northern Uganda was discussed in Cabinet, their concerns will be addressed. I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Gwitabinji at Parliament.
Now, DRC Army commanders have expressed their deepest gratitude to Mountain Division and Operation Shujaa Commander Major General Richard Otto for treating ADF combatants and abductees. Major General Otto led FARDC commanders to a guided tour of Mohoti Hospital, which has been providing medical care to ADF rebel combatants rescued from Biakatu in Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. Haruna Mtesasira reports.
Mohoti Barracks has transformed into a beacon of hope for 40 ADF rebel combatants and abductees receiving treatment and care. I took a walk where women and children are receiving medical attention and support from UPDF medics. I found UPDF medical teams working tirelessly to administer treatment to each individual.
Currently, the number of the ADF who got injured, we have almost 40 of them. And right now, the ones who are really badly off, they are about 19, and all are okay. They have improved and really very okay.
The services rendered is manifestation that UPDF is committed to deliver peace and stability in Eastern DRC.
Civilians abductees, the ones with major injuries, around 10. Those are adults, and then the children, they are around 4 major injuries. Where 2 of them have lost limbs. One lost the upper limb and one lost the lower limb, and the other 2, they'll be okay. Yeah, so that's the number.
Fadaka commanders led by Major General Nyembo Abdallah from Ituri and Major General Mandev Bruno of North Kivu Province expressed their deepest gratitude to the UPDF medical teams for treating the ADF abductees.
Tunatumika pamoja na ba partner zetu ba UPDF juu kutunza ba askari ba FARDC na UPDF bale beko na kombana juu kuleta mambo bien kuleta amani kufukuza adui ADF.
Major Dr. Daniel Okero says there is a sense of relief and gratitude on the faces of these former ADF combatants and abductees.
In the next 1 month, we shall be sending them away back to join with their families, and also others will be going back to the DRC to join also their families as well.
This initiative is a testament to the Operation Suja power of compassion and the human spirit in the midst of conflict. Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
To the August House now, where a member of Parliament for Mityana South, Richard Lumu, has tabled the Administration of Parliament Amendment Bill before Parliament. Now, the bill seeks to change the mode of electing the Leader of Opposition in Parliament. The Parliamentary Committee on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs will, over the next weeks, scrutinize the relevance of the proposed new legislation amid mixed reactions from a section of the public over the objectives of the bill. MPs Elion York and Oguzu Lee accused the presiding officers of selective operations, as we hear in this story.
The anticipated Administration of Parliament Amendment Bill 2024 has been tabled for first reading.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the certificate of financial implication.
Mityana South MP Richard Lumu was recently granted leave of Parliament to source for an amendment, specifically Section 8 of the Administration of Parliament Act, which provides for the election of the Leader of Opposition. The current rules provide that LOP is elected by the opposition party with the highest numerical strength in Parliament.
There is also another problem where 2 parties bring equal numbers of MPs. For example, if DPMI party manages to bring 30 and NUP also brings 30, the law, the way it stands now, we cannot get a Leader of Opposition.
Lumu wants the shadow cabinet to be approved by the members of opposition parties in Parliament. But some legislators cite an invisible hand in processing of the bill.
And if you look at how the necessary documents were processed, you can have some doubt that there's something behind it. The certificate of financial implication was given very fast. All the documents were processed very fast. So what is that interest?
The speed at which it's taking, there is something secretly hidden in there. We have many bills that have come here before.
I contacted the office of the Speaker quickly that I have it now what is remaining. They had no reason to give me why they should refuse me from presenting.
These MPs claim MP Lumu did not make enough consultations with the stakeholders before drafting the bill. MPs, including Elion York of Aringa South and Oguzu Lee of Maracha County, accused the presiding officers of selectiveness in their operations.
I'm seeing another private member being provided with assistance, being provided with the certificates, whatever is needed to bring his bill here. I'm now wondering, do I and the private member also have the same privileges in this house or not? We are entitled to be heard. Honorable Speaker, what is so special with this amendment of Lumu, which was generated in Gulu just within a month, and it is now on the order paper?
The Administration of Parliament Amendment Bill 2024 was introduced during the parliamentary regional sessions in northern Uganda, a program which was highly contended by the leader of opposition Joel Senyonyi, citing wastage of funds. The bill is now before the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee of Parliament.
You come to the committee and defeat it from there. Mere shouting, mere going on radios, and you say whatever you are saying will not deter me from pursuing a good thing which is going to actually organize and unite more.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Daniel and Gloria, thank you so much for that story there. Now, the City Executive Committee, SEC, has failed to present a report on solid waste management for the fourth time, prompting the council to summon Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago and Acting Executive Director Frank Rusa. Now, a committee has also been formed to investigate the Kitezi West Slide tragedy, in which over 30 lives were lost.
The Speaker of the KCCA Council, Zahara Luyirika, has appointed a committee to investigate the Kitezi West Slide and provide a detailed report to the Council with immediate effect. This follows repeated failures by the City Executive Committee to deliver a valid report after their visit to the Kitezi landfill.
Tusalawo okulonda akakiiko k'abantu 10 kakulirwa chairperson wa public health bagende maaso bakole report ku Kitezi ne Kasasira ali mu kibuga mu bwangu ddaba balete report eyo mu council nga 15 omwezi gwe 10 guno omwaka. Ekyokubitusazeewo okuwandiikira Lord Mayor ne City Executive Committee ye ne iddi omupya yakajja ne ba directors be batunyonyola ensonga lwaki baganya okujja mu council.
Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago revealed that the SEC requires 3 additional reports from the Cabinet, COSASE and the Office of the IGG in order to compile a comprehensive solid waste management report.
Of course, some of the key things that we need to do are still awaiting reports from Cabinet. We are yet to get the position of Cabinet. Parliament, they are yet to present their report because, you know, COSASE has been investigating this matter and they are supposed to pronounce themselves on this, and also a detailed report from the IGG.
The Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago mentioned a recent meeting with the newly elected technical officials to discuss the work plan for the next 3 months, focusing on the city's most pressing issues.
The purpose of this meeting was to harmonize our different positions, ideas, and of course programs in as far as steering the institution is concerned.
The political head also indicated that KCCA has been denied access to dump garbage at Katikolo due to expired agreements, exacerbating the city's garbage crisis.
Waliyo timu gye twaweererezaako eya management beegayirire nti batukkirize tugire tuyiwayo ennaku nga 2-3 nga bwe tumaliriza ekizibu kino. So timu gyeri n'ebimotoka byagenze sinnawuliza kivaayo baba bagobye naye nga ffe twabiweereza ebimotoka ne tuweererezaako n'abakugu batwegayirireko. Kwegayirira kufukamira tewali kyakola.
To alleviate the situation, the meeting proposed accessing government land without financial costs or leasing land for garbage management.
So we have resolved in this meeting, we explored the option of renting some land, because there are 2 options here. One, we are looking for land belonging to government, which does not require even a single cent for purchase or hire.
The committee's report from Kitezi is eagerly awaited as the city struggles to find sustainable solutions to its waste management challenges. Kain Faith and Justin Nakami for UBC.
Now, the Ministry of Tourism has urged Ugandans to adhere to the rules set by Murchison Falls Park following the closure of the Karuma Bridge, emphasizing the need to conserve nature and the environment. State Minister for Tourism, Martin Mugara, stated that the park is not closed to the public as the Bugungu Gate via Bulisa Road remains open for public access. Mugara made these remarks at the Media Center here in Kampala.
Following last week's closure of the Karuma Bridge, which limited access for motorists, the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities has created an alternative route through Bulisa and the Bugungu Gate. However, some bus drivers in West Nile protested this decision, citing various concerns. Minister Mugara explained that Bulisa Road is freely accessible to the public, unlike the Tangi Gate, which is restricted to buses only.
From the time Karuma Bridge was closed, because we were charging entry fees for both roads, the one in Bulisa and the one in Masindi, we agreed to allow access on the Bugungu axis free of charge. We are not charging anyone any money. So we agreed that we allow access on the other side, but we keep this one for tourism. We've still allowed the buses that offer free transport because they are easy for us to manage.
He stressed the importance of conserving the environment and ensuring the safety of wildlife, hence the call for public compliance with the established rules.
With the heavy traffic on that road, definitely the whole environment changes. The quietness, the serenity that people pay for, this has nothing to do with money. This has everything to do with conservation.
The ministry is working on developing a tangible solution to strike a balance between public access and park conservation.
And His Excellency guided that we reappear in Cabinet on Monday with the scientists, the conservationists, so that we make a case before Cabinet. Because I'm a politician, these are issues of science.
The public is reminded about the open park days scheduled for October 17th to 18th for all the savannah parks in the country.
Free of charge for every single Ugandan, we shall provide free entrance and also a free game drive for every Ugandan that is interested in actually exploring the Lake Mburo National Park, Murchison Falls National Park, Kidepo Valley National Park.
The closed Karuma Bridge connects the southern parts of Uganda to the northern part of the country and the neighboring South Sudan and the DRC. Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Inabugude, UBC News.
Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Frank Tumwebaze, has advised farmers to comply with EU market regulations, which will enable them export agricultural products like coffee, cocoa and soya. He says it is profitable and sustainable. He was launching a national registration initiative for coffee value chain actors here in Kampala.
Mole Katanga wife to the deceased Henry Katanga, their two daughters and other two suspects accused in the murder case of Henry Katanga. Still on defense cross-examination, lawyer Magdusman Kawega asked prosecution witness Andrew Mubiru why he carried out examination on the pistol, yet there was no request from the police. Mubiru was also asked to explain why he went ahead to pick swabs on the leg sticks.
This one in particular is not filled.
Police Form 17A, PID 1A, B.
During re-examination, prosecution asked Andrew Mubiru to clarify whether the trigger and the trigger house, whether it was contaminated while at the scene of crime.
Maybe we can start from you clarifying on what background DNA is.
My lord, background DNA is the DNA that persists on an object from the owner of that object.
Mubiru also had this to say on the errors he made in recording the serial numbers from the legged pistol. Mubiru, however, refuted the defense's allegation that the software which was used to test the DNA was expired and that the DNA got from the scene of crime was contaminated by the surrounding environment.
Amount of DNA transfer through secondary transfer be more than that for the depositor. My Lord.
Just
okay.
Referring to a specification that I was given.
So referring to the questions that were put to you.
There was someone around there which
yes.
I remember. So
and that is what I want him to clarify. Can you transfer on secondary be more than transfer on contact?
Oh, okay, can you transfer?
Due to time, Judge Isaac Muwata adjourned the case to tomorrow, 2nd October 2024, for prosecution to continue with re-examination. The case suspect in this matter, Mole Katanga, who appeared in court via Zoom from Rosela Government Prison, was further remanded. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nance Subuga, UBC News.
And we do apologize for the mix-up of the stories there, but that story that has just run was about the prosecution witness, Andrew Mubiru, in the Katanga murder case, who has refuted defense allegations that the DNA swabs collected from the scene of the crime, as well as those on the trigger and trigger housing, were contaminated before being examined in the laboratory. And of course, witness Mubiru made this statement during re-examination in the murder case of businessman Henry Katanga, and the case is being had at the High Court Criminal Division in Kampala. Let's now go to that story where Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Frank Tumwebazi, has advised farmers to comply with the EU market regulations, which will enable them export agricultural products like coffee, cocoa and soya.
It's my pleasure today to launch the national registration of coffee value chain actors as one of the way of launching the national traceability system.
Uganda is the 7th largest coffee producer globally and the 2nd in Africa, with access to markets in China and the EU that require proper registration. Uganda also registered a 22% increase in commodity exports, up from the 11% recorded in previous years.
EU represents a primary export market for Ugandan coffee, with over 60% of our coffee exported to the EU market, including Italy, Germany, Spain, Belgium, Portugal, Russia, Switzerland, Sweden and the Netherlands. And bearing that the deadline for compliance to this regulation is the 30th of December 2024, the Ministry of Agriculture, its agency UCDA, private sector players in the coffee value chain and development partners have prioritized registration of coffee value chain actors so as to enable traceability of our coffee and prove that our source farms have not contributed to deforestation.
Minister for Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Frank Tumwebazi, says farmers need to comply to the regulations to register their products, which will qualify them to own the export market.
Yes, background research was done jointly by the scientists of the two countries, high-risk pests identified, and mitigation measures jointly agreed upon, leading to the signing of the protocol on dried chilies. So I want to congratulate all the exporters and Ugandans on this milestone.
The government, along with other development partners, has contributed 13.9 billion shillings and 16 billion shillings in support of farmer registration respectively. In a related development, the Chinese government has formalized a deal allowing Uganda to export products to China's larger market.
I would like to thank the government of Uganda for providing resources for registration to the value chain actors. I also thank development partners like ABI Development and UNDP for the funding, support and civil society organizations for mobilizing farmers.
compliance with protocols is essential, particularly regarding data entry for aquatic products, in order to adhere to regulations and avoid penalties.
The protocol formalizes an agreement on the export of dried chilies as it opens up the door to accessing one of the world's largest chili consumer markets. So the current situation on the export of these two, there have been numerous calls and complaints from the general public, especially those involved in export of wild aquatic products listed above: Nile perch fillets, headless and gutted Nile perch, fish maw, fish skins and scales, and silverfish products. All of those have not been going to China. Actually, allegations of smuggling have been going on.
This is a pivotal moment for Uganda's agriculture sector as it aims to expand its reach in international markets. Charity Marion Imnat and Dan Nugemwa for UBC News.
We'll now take a very short break and return with much more. Do stay with us.
Uganda fire! Endiva fire! Our border fire! Uganda! Thank you for showing your fire! As Uganda Crane showed Congo, why nobody is called a Katiro? Mayuwa wa mubiri Gabulicho! Katika Uganda Crane section South Sudan on the 11th of October. Bring more fire and support even harder nobody. Dial *165*20# or go to buy ticket on the Momo app to get your discounted ordinary ticket at 20k on Momo. And it comes with a free train ride to Nambole. Cash is 25k. Game starts at 7 p.m. The first two Nel special beers go for 1k each when you buy with Momo at MTN Gavut Day. Uganda Cranes fire! MTN fire! Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda's football. Together, truly unstoppable.
Hey kids, we're going to count today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Enjoy 5 ways to love your baby, smoothen and protect your baby's skin with 5 new gentle formulations. Original to nurture your baby, aloe vera to protect your chibubu skin, cocoa butter to comfort your pinku, mild scent to soothe your little one, and avocado to soften your bunju skin. Available in all supermarkets, retail shops, and cosmetics shops near you. Move it, baby jelly. All day confidence.
To help businesses recover from the impact of COVID-19, government introduced a tax amnesty through a waiver of interest and penalty on outstanding principal tax as at June 30th, 2023. Accordingly, URA has since July 2024 been implementing this waiver. To benefit, simply pay your outstanding principal tax by December 31st, 2024, and the waiver is applied automatically upon payment confirmation. This amnesty applies to domestic taxes, namely income tax, rental tax, payee, and others. Grab this golden opportunity today. For more, use the platforms displayed.
Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda together.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Multi Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now, tobacco control activists are calling upon government to increase taxes on tobacco products, especially cigarettes. Now, they note that the last tax increase on cigarettes occurred in 2017, contrary to World Health Organization recommendations for progressive taxation. According to a 2017 report from the Center for Tobacco Control Africa, CTCA, the total health cost of tobacco use in Uganda, including the direct costs of treatment and indirect costs of lost income and productivity due to death and disability, amounts to 328.82 billion Ugandan shillings, and that is equivalent to approximately 126.48 million US dollars. Activists argue that increasing tobacco taxation would boost government revenue while reducing morbidity and mortality associated with tobacco consumption. The tobacco control activists include Uganda National Health Consumers Organization and Uganda Health Communication Alliance.
To increase taxes on cigarettes, we know cigarettes taxes were last increased in 2017, which is contrary to what WHO says, that every year there should be progressive taxation of cigarettes. But in this country, we last increased in 2017. This is unacceptable. We want government to increase taxes on soft cap or on sportsman or supermatch and that category, to increase it from the current 55 shillings they get from each stick of cigarettes to 150 shillings. And then the hijrid or the downhill, the Rex, we want cigarettes to be increased per stick we want government to get 200 shillings instead of the current 80 shillings that they are getting.
Some of the people who work in the Ministry of Finance and others in other areas who are responsible for taxation in this country should be arrested and charged for high treason. Why do we say this? Is because they have spent more than 4 years without increasing at all any tax on tobacco. Yet they are crying that the country has no money. They are increasing taxes on water, a product which is a life product. They are increasing taxes on fuel exponentially all the time. They are increasing taxes on drugs, on milk, but they are not increasing taxes on tobacco. One of the most dangerous products that is killing many Ugandans, and that's science. So for me, I think it is treasonable for these individuals, for them not to increase taxes on tobacco and increase taxes on these other essential products, and then keep quarreling and crying that as a country we don't have money.
Uganda's senior medical professionals are advocating for the mandate of regulating medical professions, institutions and training centers to return to the Ministry of Health from the Ministry of Education that regulates and sets standards to all higher and tertiary institutions of learning through the National Council for Higher Education. During a consultative meeting with the Education Policy Review Commission in Nakawa, senior practitioners emphasized that as direct supervisors of medical professionals, they are better equipped to understand the sector's challenges.
The guideline I picked is that you are saying
in the early 1990s, government restructuring shifted the responsibility for regulating health education to the Ministry of Education under the National Council for Higher Education. Consequently, decisions on establishing medical schools, student admissions, training programs and facilities are no longer under the jurisdiction of Ministry of Health. Over the last 20 years, there has been a rapid increase of medical schools in this country.
John talked about over decentralization, liberalizations and so on. Yes, if you do that, but then you lose control, that you are not able to regulate, you're going to end up in a total mess. I always give this very unfortunate example of border borders. Border border is good. It's a good means of transport. But you see what is happening. If you are driving, what direction do you look? Do you look left or do you look right or do you look forward or do you look behind? Because a border border is coming from any direction. And I say this again, I do not want to see the medical profession behaving like a border system.
Although the National Council for Higher Education is expected to consult the Uganda Medical and Dental Practitioners Council, its advice is not mandatory. According to experts, this has negatively impacted the quality of medical graduates, overcrowded admissions, making effective training difficult.
Should government decide that we need more medical schools in the country, medical schools, the health sector should be consulted or should be asked to originate that proposal themselves to the central coordinating body, not to simply come and the Minister of Health, the health sector, hears that we now have 5 medical schools and they will be producing 1,000 graduates. The Minister of Health will start asking themselves, what do I do? What do we do with these people? Because they have not been involved. If you have the National Council for Higher Education, and it's going to be the centralized body to handle everything to do with training of Air Force, training of policemen, training of agriculture, training of engineers. If you are going to pass any regulation affecting the aviation industry, surely the aviation industry must be consulted. They must be asked to originate that proposal and be listened to, and their contributions must be taken into account. Not simply to come one day and pass a resolution affecting the aviation industry and tell the pilots, you must now do this and that and that and that, without listening to them.
Uganda had a great history in this, but we are losing, and we need to move quickly to put things right so that we can return to the high standards that we had before. And in doing this, by far the most important intervention is putting the responsibility for regulation back into the Ministry of Health, which was taken away from the Ministry of Health to the Medical and Dental Practitioners Council.
Health experts are now proposing that the new education policy returns regulatory powers to the Ministry of Health, while the Ministry of Education handles academic qualifications. Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mold Technologies, your professional research firm.
Uganda Manufacturers Association celebrates 30 years of industrial excellence. Come and be part of the 30th UMA International Trade Fair at Lugogo from the 2nd to the 10th of October. We celebrate 30 years of industrial excellence with an education pavilion, an agricultural pavilion, and a job skills development pavilion for job seekers. There will be lots of fun, entertainment, and business opportunities. Come and be part of this great journey and milestones. Entrance fee is only 10,000 shillings. If you want an exhibition stall, call +256 0703 552 444 or visit the UMA website, powered by Total Energies, Hisense, Smart Tech, and Stanbic Bank.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. Now, Uganda is hosting the Deep Tech Summit, which serves as a dynamic platform for global leaders in deep technology to share insights and trends, fostering collaboration across borders. According to the Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation, Sonero Monica, while the country has made significant steps in software development, there is much to be done in actualizing key aspects of deep technology.
Uganda has an ambitious goal of growing its GDP from US$ 55 billion to 550 billion by the year 2014. Although this target sounds impractical, the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Monica Musenero, is optimistic. She says for Uganda to progress towards achieving the 2040 goal, investments in science, technology and innovation are paramount.
Over the past few years, we have tried to work and create an ecosystem, an environment which has an understanding of how science actually works to build the economy. And we have identified what Uganda has. Uganda has a lot of resources. We have a lot of natural resources. We have a lot of human capital resources. However, constructing a positive ecosystem that will help us translate these resources into technology development has been something which was a gap.
She was inaugurating the Deep Tech Summit in Kampala. The summit has attracted innovators and global deep tech ecosystem players with an aim of promoting the adoption and development of cutting-edge solutions in artificial intelligence, biotechnology, among others. Deep tech, a new phenomenon in the continent, has the capacity to revolutionize various sectors of the economy and spur socio-economic transformation, says Arthur Mukembo from Future Lab.
Deep tech is an overarching basket of technologies. It's where you have artificial intelligence, there's opportunities in Web3, there are many other concepts like edge computing, cloud, so on and so forth. What we're saying is that in this universe of complex emerging technologies, where is the opportunity for Uganda? For this conversation, it's spearheaded by the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat, but together with BRAIN, with ourselves, we're coming together to say, how can we democratize knowledge?
An appeal for the enactment of a law to support the growth and development of deep tech is made.
Each country, I believe, they have a niche which can make him special, can make him competitive, can really make him unique. I mean, on the technology to be able really to develop. So policy is extremely important, and the learning that we are really going to do within these 3 days is extremely important indeed to develop. And to develop such a strategy and to prioritize. What we can do and what we can really not do.
The Deep Tech Summit focuses on shaping Uganda's deep tech strategy to drive innovation and attract investment. Dennis Igor for UBC News.
World news now, and we go to the US, where Washington is trying to keep a Mideast war from snowballing after a dramatic weekend in Lebanon. But regional powers are expressing concerns as Israel's leadership seems determined to continue. From the White House, President Joe Biden has called for a ceasefire.
Lebanon is on fire after Israel's weekend assassination of Hezbollah's leader, a move that threatens to let loose a wider war in the region. On Monday, President Joe Biden was unequivocal about what needs to happen next.
I'm more aware than you might know, and I'm comfortable with them stopping. We should have a ceasefire now.
But the question is how? How is Washington, Israel's main weapons supplier, going to pull the plug on this violence? VOA asked the White House.
Our policy has not changed. It just hasn't. It has not changed.
Lebanon's leaders say they have no faith in Israel's intentions.
أن الحكومة
The government is doing everything in its power to confront this destructive, hateful war that Israel is waging against us. And we went to the United Nations looking for a solution, and we met with world leaders. But the enemy went with the intention of treachery and planning more massacres.
And Israel's leader indicated Monday that he is digging in for a fight.
We are at war for our very existence. We will join forces, go hand in hand, and defeat our enemies.
Meanwhile, Washington is joined by other powers in begging for this to stop.
There is still hope, but time is short. I therefore urge Israel to refrain from any ground incursions and to a ceasefire. I call on Hezbollah to do the same, and to refrain from any action likely to lead to regional destabilization.
Analysts say Biden and allies have given Netanyahu options to stop the violence by pushing for a 21-day ceasefire in Lebanon and a deal to free hostages held by Hamas in Gaza as a step toward ending that conflict.
Unfortunately, I would say that the history of their conversations over the past year has been that regardless of what the president's arguments are, regardless of what he has pushed, Benjamin Netanyahu is following his own course and is not responding to U.S. concerns or advice.
For the people of southern Lebanon and for the region, these are not abstract discussions. This is a matter of life or death. Anita Powell, VOA News, the White House.
Sports news now, and we begin with football, where Uganda Cranes head coach Paul Joseph Put has summoned a squad of 27 players ahead of the Total Energies doubleheader against South Sudan in the 2025 Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers.
Changes have been made in the squad that faced Congo in the last outing. Among the 27 players summoned for the Cranes duties are midfielder Tadeo Ranga and forward Derek Nsibambi ahead of Uganda's double-header against South Sudan at Mandela National Stadium, Nambole on Friday, October 11, followed by a return leg at Juba Stadium on Tuesday. Ranga, who plays for Rwandan champions APRFC, brings wealth of experience to the midfield, while Nsibambi makes a comeback after a lengthy absence. Another notable inclusion is young defender Javin Chezito, who returns to the squad following his recent move to KCCA. The coach has also rewarded promising talent Shafik Kwikiliza with a call-up, acknowledging the youngster's impressive start to his KCCA career since joining from Ball last season.
I was really impressed about the Ugandan public, the way they have been supporting our team. And I want to make a call to the public. Please come to the stadium, come support, because it will not be easy games.
Meanwhile, striker Muhammad Shaban, who plays for Libyan side Al Hilal Benghazi, misses out on the squad due to injury.
And for those of you that believe in the local league, 10 of them in, but the coach also makes a clarion call to the fans to come and be the 12th player, because he knows with his 11 players alone, it may not be easy. And therefore, for those of you that want to come to the stadium and add fire to an unexpected fiery contest for the 3 points in Nambole, you will need an access permit to access the stadium.
The team will enter residential camp at Cranes Paradise Hotel Nalia on Sunday. Uganda currently has 4 points from the opening 2 games, having drawn 2-2 against South Africa and secured a 2-0 victory at home against Congo-Brazzaville.
Emon Ngabo reporting there. Now, the Corporate Sports Network, which is the body charged with organizing corporate entities into sports, has witnessed its September outing. The outing was hosted at Maroon Grounds in Luzira and was a full house. John Van Sentamo reports.
For an organization that started just this year, the Corporate Sports Network has proved to many that it was a welcome relief from all before it. This has been evidenced all year with quality outings, with the latest for September no different. It attracted a full house with corporate companies partaking of several disciplines including football and fun games like sack race. However, most attention was on the footballer that has the normal category, and that for players aged 35 plus. In some of the normal category games played, tabletoppers Tropical Bank aged DTB Bank 1-0. Centenary Bank and Quality Chemicals shared the spoils in 1-1 draw, while Mogul Loans that won 6 in 6 games on the day started with a 1-0 win over Harris International. The standings so far in the normal category, which is for players below 35 years, Tropical Bank leads with 72 points after 27 games, with Uganda Revenue Authority second on 67, while Uganda Breweries Limited, Quality Chemicals Limited and Mogul Loans are joined third with 63 points. In some of the games played in the over 35 years category, DTB Bank edged Uganda Electricity Transmission Company 1-0 and Tropical Bank walloped Uganda Red Cross 3-0. This category of 35 years plus is played in groups with a Stanbic Bank atop Group A, while Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, Mogul Loans and Centenary Bank top the others. On the overall log for this Corporate Sports Network that also has other sports like swimming and basketball plus elements like organization and discipline contributing to who will become overall champion, Tropical Bank tops with 28.2%. It's followed by Uganda Revenue Authority with 26.7%, while third-placed Quality Chemicals Limited has 26%. The penultimate round of this Corporate Sports Network is scheduled for end of October at the Maroon Grounds in Luzira.
And finally, Uganda's remarkable performance at the recently concluded Olympic Games has not gone unnoticed, with the nation securing both gold and silver medals. Now, this achievement reflects the dedication of the athletes as well as the crucial support from the government and sponsors.
Following Uganda's impressive show at the Olympics, where the nation won gold and silver medals, credit is owed to the national team sponsors who played a pivotal role in the team's success. The government of Uganda sponsored the team's training and provided prize money, while Plascon Paints contributed 125 million shillings to support the athletes. In a review of the team's performance, Santosh Gumte, managing director of Plascon Paints, pledged continued support for sports.
So we believe that investing in sports is quite important as it brings people together. Not only that, it creates employment, it also encourages the youth to come to the forefront and show their talent. Sports is also a very key area to actually put Uganda on the world's map. Because, in Olympics, we have had sportsmen from Uganda perform significantly well, and it has brought us a lot of pride. For cricket, we have had the cricket team playing in the World Cup, which has also given Ugandans a lot of pride.
The sports disciplines set to benefit from this commitment include cricket, badminton, netball, among others. Meanwhile, Plascon Paints has unveiled the 2024 Paint and Win campaign, which rewards customers with prizes ranging from motorcycles to cash.
We believe that we need to give back to the communities where we operate, and we are in Uganda. We are doing well, and that's only because of the support of all the stakeholders in Uganda. So every corporate has to actually, when they are in a country, try and give something back to the communities where they operate, and which is what we also do. So we are in Uganda, across the whole of Uganda. So we want to try and give as much as we can back to the community.
The campaign will run for 10 weeks and aims to recognize customers who diligently purchase paint.
That story there, and that brings us to the end of this first edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Tuesday, the first day of October 2024. Thank you so much for having kept us company on sign language. It has been Yusuf Senyamo, and I'm Rukidi Kijjanangoma. See you some other time.
Welcome to Gulu High School, the pride of Northern Uganda, standing tall since 1914. As the third oldest traditional school in Uganda, we invite you to witness a celebration of talent, unity and sportsmanship at the much anticipated Gulu High School Sports Gala 2024. This is more than just a sports event. It is a showcase of Gulu High